Zomato yesterday became the latest entrant to, come into the 10-minute delivery race. This seems to be a rage with quick service companies, grocery delivery companies in the startup space. And the promise was first that you will get whatever you order, whether it's groceries or food, under 30 minutes. Now it's reduced to even 10 minutes. And a huge player like Zomato has now entered the fray. Now, a day after Dipinder Goyal of Zomato made that announcement on social media, he faced quite a bit of flack, several memes, and many questions about A, why do we need food in under 10 minutes? B, is it safe, especially for delivery partners who often are blamed for breaking traffic rules and driving rashly just to get the food in time. So Dipinder Goyal has come out with clarifications today once again on social media, saying that the delivery that he's promising for under 10 minutes for food will be in specific locations and only for standardized item menus. Delivery partners will not be informed in advance that they have to deliver within 10, 20 or 30 minutes so that there's no stress for them. There will be no incentive for on-time deliveries. So no stick, no carrot for delivery partners, which would make them drive rashly. And they're going to be building new food stations to service all of this. He also goes on to say that this will be done for items that can be dispatched within 2 minutes. The kind of food which can be kept prepared. So he's talked about South Indian dishes, momos, biryanis, etc. But then the larger question is this a solution to a problem that even exists? Who or which customer out there is so keen to get food delivery within 10 minutes? And what does the market research say which is causing these companies and many companies to fund this kind of a new delivery model? To get a better sense of this entire debate, I'm joined now by Anurag Katriyar, founder and MD of Indigo Hospitality, K. Ganesh, promoter, Big Basket, Portia, Medical and Home Lane, and Karan Taurani, SVP, Research Analyst. Welcome to all of you, and thank you so much for joining us this evening on the show. Mr. Katriyar, let me begin with you. Do you think that there are some categories of food items which will work in this 10-minute delivery system? How do you, as someone in the business, feel about the promise of delivering hot, fresh, sanitized food within 10 minutes?
Well, in one word, highly impractical, highly improbable. Very simply put, if you look at that tweet put out by Zomato, they say that they're looking at a kitchen prep time of 2 to 3 minutes or 2 to 4 minutes is what they said. I can't think of one dish that can be prepared fresh in 2 to 4 minutes. Yes, you can deliver it for the heck of it. You can pre-prepare and pre-package the food, and you can reheat and send it across, or you can have certain curries and all lying in bain maris that can be put across, in packets and sent out. But even then, understand the whole process. An order is received, a kitchen order ticket is printed, and then the food gets prepared. I don't see this happening. I was talking to a bunch of chefs today. We had met for some other reasons. And I was asking, what can you do? And one guy very rightly said, even Maggie gets cooked in 2 minutes only in TV advertisements, nowhere else. There is no way this can work. And I don't see the need of it as well, to be honest. I don't understand what is this whole thing about 10 minutes, everything. I think Blinkit, which is backed by Zomato, also started grocery deliveries in 10 minutes. Or some 11 minutes or whatever, but that has also not worked very well. Now, that is something which is a packaged product. You can still do it. Here, it is all about preparing the food after the order is received. So I don't even see the need for it. And I am very, very clear that this is very impractical, not possible. You can do it for optics. You can put out a couple of dishes here and there and say, I'm delivering in 10 minutes. Then if you look at the second part of this whole statement, that food can get delivered in 4 to 6 minutes in a delivery radius of 2 kilometers. It sounds right on the calculator, but I mean, we all know practically in which big city can you travel 2 kilometers in 4 minutes?
No, I'm just thinking, if someone asked me to find everything in my kitchen to prepare a meal in 4 minutes, I'd probably break into a sweat. But, that's
you
a
can't
different
prepare
story.
a Maggi or an omelette in 2 minutes.
No, I'm getting nervous thinking about it. But then, no. I mean, on a serious note, it's not about any of our cooking skills or the speed with which we can cook. It's about a business model, and a serious business model backed by billions of dollars. Karan Taurani, that's why I want you to come in on this part. Do you think there's a strategy behind this clearly, because it's not just one or two players doing it, it's happening all over the world as well. What is the basic consumer need that has been identified to push in this direction? Or is there a hope that you'll create the product and then the demand will follow?
So I think you have to really look at this segment in terms of quick commerce, how it has evolved. Customer experience has kind of changed right now. The customer expectations have changed with time, and one really has to, meet up to that. I mean, back in the day when quick commerce started, the delivery time was 1 day, 1.5 day. Then we went on to 12 hours, 18 hours. Currently, we are getting products at 15 minutes, 20 minutes as well. So that is kind of transition. I think for a company like Zomato as well, I mean, I'm not saying that all the deliveries will all the orders will be kind of fulfilled within 10 minutes, but I think this is more of an aspiration which is there, that you keep the time at 10 minutes, and whether it happens 15 minutes, 20 minutes, that's still fine. Because currently, if you look at the average time, Zomato is claiming that their average time is 30 minutes. But most of the times, in the metro cities, when the orders are placed, the delivery lead time goes to 40, 45 minutes also most of the time. So that is quite frustrating, for the customer. So, by doing this 10-minute thing, what you're trying to do is, you're trying to actually, persuade the customer with a better kind of experience. So 10-minute can become a 20-minute, but eventually what happens is your overall experience level really moves up. And that is something, which is a positive in my view. And you look at the overall ecosystem. I mean, the entire ecosystem will benefit because of this. You look at the suppliers. So there are certain types of food, which need a quick delivery, right from fries, sandwiches put together. So I think that is something which can work favorably for them. South Indian chai. That's one. That's the supplier perspective. Customer, it's a win-win because the customer is not getting charged any extra fee, for that quicker delivery which is there. So earlier a customer would wait say 40, 45 minutes for a delivery or a 30-minute time. Now he'll get the same thing in 15-minute, 20-minute time frame. So it's a win-win for the customer. It's a win-win for the delivery boy because he'll be motivated, to kind of do more orders basically. I mean, I really have my doubts in terms of if the delivery boy is not compensated well enough for a lower lead time in terms of delivery. I don't know what the motivation will be for him to deliver in terms of a lower lead time. That is uncertain as of now, based on the current statement which is coming. But definitely, it'll do wonders in terms of improving efficiency. And last but not the least, for Zomato as a company, they can actually push more orders or in a day basically as compared to what they would do earlier. So not a big positive impact as such, but yeah, definitely moving in the right direction. And I think better use of tech is something that can actually do wonders for them in the medium to long term as well. Because globally, we've seen models like drone delivery that is being tested. I mean, still too early days for a country like India, but if that were to be, then definitely things can fall in the right path as well. So this is just an aspiration, I
Yeah.
believe,
So,
and it
so
should be taken
the
that way
key
only, rather
message
than
is,
accepting that all
sure.
deliveries will happen in 10
Sure.
minutes.
So the
Yeah.
key messages, so they're saying that's going to be, high density areas, is going to be certain products, it's a pilot project. But the key message is, from what Mr. Goyal has said in his tweets, that he's saying I need to innovate as a company because if I don't do it, somebody else will come and make me obsolete. K. Ganesh, do you think that that's really the merit which is underlying in this entire discussion? But then the question is that are you innovating in a way which is required and which will enhance the customer experience in a really substantive way? That is the basic question, isn't it? Who really wants? Do so many people really want delivery within 10 minutes?
Yeah, so no, all good question. Firstly, I think I have a lot of respect and appreciation for Dipinder Goyal and Zomato, what they have done in the last 2 decades, starting off as a content company, getting into delivery, innovating some of the personal policies. They have done all of it. I think they have been a leader and innovator. So I would not like to brush aside this experiment they are trying in Gurgaon, uh, as the way people have criticized in the social media and the way they have come up against it, because there must be something more which we as panelists, as outsiders, are not seeing deep into it, because Deepinder and Zomato has shown they understand the customer, they have innovated in the past, they're extremely successful, valued very well. So, but having said that, this looks pure like a novelty or a gimmick to me. And from a business model perspective, is there a need? There actually is no need. I have not seen somebody sweating, fretting, fuming, and getting it that he's going to get it in 10 minutes. we don't suddenly start yearning for it and hands start shaking and we start sweating that I need the food in 10 minutes, otherwise catastrophe will strike. So it is not the expectation. So I do really feel there's no need. We talked about, I think Karan talked about grocery. Okay, right? See, grocery, e-commerce, e-grocery, selection, price, and convenience are the three main factors. It's a standardized commodity. So I can pick up a box of soap, and we have done this in Big Basket. I think Anurag and Karan rightly mentioned when we started Big Basket 10 years back. The idea was if you're able to deliver the same day, it was great because slots were available only next day. From there, everybody in the industry, everybody pushed, and made it same day delivery, then made it 2-hour delivery, which was also a big challenge, and everybody benefited. The consumer benefited, we got more orders and all of those. But food is very different. One additional dimension which is not there in grocery, which is there in food, is the taste, the flavor that you cannot replicate. Biryani cooked. I have 4 companies in the food business, and I'm sure others will agree. And somebody like Anurag would really understand it. You cannot do a biryani in 10 minutes. Okay, right?
Okay, just to play 1 minute, Mr. Ganesh, just to play devil's advocate, when you walk into a restaurant and you order a biryani, they're not starting it from scratch. They've already prepped most of it. In most cases, they probably made it, or they're just assembling it and putting it together, isn't it?
No, true. So again, please understand this. The level of preparedness, what is prepared, what is pre-prepared, and what is cooked, there is a major substantial difference in a restaurant and this. Okay, right? I can tell you, we have companies in the cloud kitchen business where we deliver. We deliver within 30 minutes to 45 minutes. Depending on the traffic, it even happens at 15 to 20 minutes. But it does take 10-15 minutes to cook, and the cooking is done. I'm not saying the vegetables you start cutting from the scratch after the order comes. No, there is a lot of pre-preparedness. But coming back to it, do you really need 10-minute delivery? And where the answer is no. An aggregator like Zomato or Swiggy, their business model depends upon giving selection. Why do I go to aggregator or Zomato? Because I have 200 restaurants and I can choose any of those 200 here. Now, by trying to give poha or omelette or 25 items within 10 minutes, I mean, I just can't understand the use case where I get happiness by getting a biryani in 10 minutes versus waiting for 30 minutes and ordering my biryani of my choice of the brand. For Domino's to say I will deliver in 10 minutes, I can understand that. It's been that. And to Karan's point, I think there is merit to the challenges which delivery boys will face, what other common citizens will face, because people are running helter-skelter in India's traffic and India's road conditions to deliver in 10 minutes. I unfortunately don't agree with the statement issued by Zomato saying that they will not tell delivery boys. Whom are we kidding? We all know that there is a 10-minute delivery happening. Are you going to hide it from the delivery boys that the expectation is of 10-minute delivery? The answer is no.
That is a serious concern. That is a serious concern.
Yeah. So I do have concern in that. But really, it's a novelty and gimmick. Selection. I will wait for my food and order the brand of choice. I will wait for 30 or 45 minutes. I'm not able to see any reason. But again, let's not kill it, throw the baby out of bathwater. He is talking about in Gurgaon an experiment. I'm sure there will be a lot of learnings, including consumer feedback, whether they value it.
Let me rephrase that. Let's not throw out the momo with the soup. If you can get both in 10 minutes, then why not? But one second.
Again, Anurag can say whether momo can be made in 10 minutes, in 5 minutes, and momo can be done.
Okay.
There are certain things.
Before we turn this into a recipe show, let me come back to Karan on some of the points that were mentioned by Mr. Ganesh, which is essentially, where is the need? Who is dying for this, food within 10 minutes? Or do you believe that once the service comes in there, because from first-hand experience, I can say that when we went from a situation where you could get groceries or produce instead of waiting for the next day or some slot 2 days later, when I could get it the same day, it really benefited me greatly. It's something I didn't know that could happen for me, but I'm very happy it did. Do you think that that's what may follow with this 10-minute delivery race?
So as I said, it is a very selective approach. I think, you also have to monitor in terms of what your peers are doing. So Domino's has got an aspiration now that, they will deliver within 20 minutes. And apparently Some data indicates that almost 70% of the orders are now 20 minutes or below. So it is just an aspiration level, as I said, and some selective food like, French fries, genuinely like sandwiches with mayo is something that probably benefit. But again, there are constraints around the execution of it. Okay. So whether you call it the safety of the rider, whether you call it the traffic issue, whether you call it the product food quality, those are some very big concerns which are there. And I think apart from this, the larger picture, the concern is basically if you look at the global models, why are they so efficient? The global companies which are like DoorDash, Meituan, because they are doing multiple orders per transit, right? And if you are trying to go for a business model wherein you want to go for a quick delivery and probably have one order per transit, you will never achieve that kind of efficiency. And your cost will always remain basically high. So that's another constraint which is there. And last but not the least, I think the other headwind here is in terms of investment into the fleet. So, if you really want to cater this quick delivery of 15-minute, 20-minute kind of a thing, you have to really invest a lot in terms of increasing your fleet. That adds to your cost as well. So I think these are some concerns in terms of the company, how they will address that if they were to really successfully execute this. But nonetheless, I mean, what they are talking of is just an experiment right now. We don't know how things are going to pan out. We'll probably just wait and watch, to get more clarity on
See,
this.
there is an international company called Spoon Rocket that tried it internationally,
Yeah.
and it failed. It shut down. They used to have pre-cooked food in the car dicky, in proper heated boxes, and the cars used to go around and deliver quickly. This is quickly shut shop again. Even to Karan's example of French fries of this, would I order the right brand and be willing to wait for 30 minutes? Or will I
No,
order
but French fries
10
after
minutes?
30 minutes, any brand is
Becomes
not going to taste
relevant.
good. There's
No, no,
some
no.
By the
hope
way,
Maybe it's
for
just an
French fries,
aspiration
ice
which they are
cream.
trying to
Okay,
say,
Anurag wants
that
to come in
maybe
1
they
minute.
are trying to offer French fries or certain kind of foods, at a faster pace. So may not be 10 minutes, but even if the lead time becomes from 35 to 20 minutes, it does wonders in terms of the acquired taste of the
Yeah,
food. So I
that I
think that
agree.
is
The
there.
Okay,
Yeah.
aspirational level to put
Anurag
that.
wants to
Aspirational
come
level.
in.
Yeah.
Anurag, my
Karan,
question to you
yeah.
is, as someone in the business, are you concerned that a greater demand for food delivered faster rather than perhaps the quality of the food will also change the way restaurants run their business? You'll have to now focus on items that you can deliver faster.
No, and I'm glad you brought this up because then I'm gonna raise my biggest concern with whole of this in this whole issue. Sorry, so far one of the biggest narratives that has gone around with the aggregator, it's all about discount and deals and all. Now that itself is hurting the trade quite a lot. Now we are moving to another narrative: quickest is the best, or deliver quick. Where is quality going in all this? Isn't eating out a lot to do with experience? It is a lot to do with experience. And I think these are wrong narratives being peddled. This is not the way to go. No food. And I say that with every conviction. Karan, you talked about French fries in 2 to 4 minutes cooking time. It won't happen. Cooking, packaging, it can never happen. Sandwiches cannot be grilled in 4 minutes and packaged. That is not possible. Then you are talking about, this aspirational thing, 35 becoming 20. Remember one thing, satisfaction is a sum total of what you promise minus what you get. You promise me 10 and deliver in 15, I'm not going to be happy. You tell me 15 and deliver in 14, I'll be happy. You tell me 20, deliver in 18, I'll be happy. But you tell me 10 and you are telling me, and you get your food in 20, I'm not going to be happy. That's absolutely not right. I don't know what are we trying to achieve with this whole thing. It's going to kill the very basic product that is getting delivered. End of the day, Zomato is a logistics company. It is a marketplace where people place orders. It's like, a logistic company is telling a factory how much output and how fast output you need to make. Is that a way it can ever work? Answer is a big no. And I don't see any need for this, because you are only going to ruin the experience of the consumers by rushing in things which is cooked over 2 to 4 minutes.
No, but
and
some would argue if there is no need for it, if there are no takers for it, the product itself will die out. Clearly, that has not
that
been
has
seen.
happened in the past with Zomato. We have seen what happened to Zomato Gold. We have seen whatever has happened.
So that's true.
But this is a disruption right now. And that's my worry. Again, I'm going back to the same thing about narratives being peddled. The big narrative was that if you want to be counted, you have to give discounts, give deals. Now the next narrative is you have to deliver everything in 10 minutes. This is a problem. Quality is taking a complete backseat. Experience is going totally out of the window in all this, and eating out is so much about that. That's my big worry with this whole thing.
Okay. No, so, Mr. Ganesh, part of the questions that are being raised about this 10-minute hunt, and, we're talking about Zomato because they're the latest. The fact is that others are doing it. People are also liking getting their groceries faster. Food may be a different story. But the other question is this also happening because now these are companies flush with cash. They have a great amount of funding. They have to do something with it. They have to innovate in some way. And this seems to be the next logical area to actually dispense that money and all of that funding rather than a need that is there out there. Do you think that that could be a factor? Is that the kind of push these companies also face?
So clearly, like the other panelists have also said, the need here, I don't see the need here. We were not sweating for it. We were not looking forward to it. You can argue that because we did not know that this is possible, we never looked out for it. Once we get used to it, we will get addicted to 10 minutes and will not be willing to wait for 11 minutes. All that can be argued, but clearly the need has not been there. I did not see the need. We did not see the need that's there. One. Two, Anurag talked about quality. More than as much as quality, the taste is very, very, very important. Okay, right? Where will the taste go? Suppose I decide to give it to you within two minutes, but the taste is not good. Would you actually eat it? Even if I give it to you free, you're not going to take it. So that the whole, is it really a big pain point? Is there a problem that was waiting to be solved, or somebody has come up with a solution and trying to find a problem with it because they have got money, because they are listed, because they need to show novelty, they need to show good action? The amount of debate and social media this has created is phenomenal publicity for the company and discussion on the company. That is really the key question. So to me, unless proven wrong, I hope I'm proven wrong, because it's always good to know and good to support innovators by the Gurgaon experiment that people swarm at it. But I don't think it'll happen because firstly, it's easy to copy. It's not very difficult to start giving 10-minute deliveries if you put money and if you put people behind it. So there is no uniqueness, innovation in this other than saying that I will do it. You have data on how much is the demand, say, for French fries in sector 22 of Gurgaon between 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. Once you know how much is that, then you can estimate at least 75% of that. You can keep cooking the French fries like they do in McDonald's and then start delivering it. So there is no innovation here.
You think
you
so,
will have
Karan? I just want to get Karan's view on this. You think that there is not enough of an innovation, because it sounds like quite a task to pull this off. You'll have to use algo, you'll have to use tech, you will have to, identify those densely populated centers. And it is an experiment.
All the data is available. All the data is available with every company.
Okay. So just Karan's view on whether you think this is something that can be easily copied.
So as I said, they do have the data, but then they have to make the right use of the data, because clearly they would rather monitor in terms of, providing that customer in terms of the promotional offers, in terms of what is the kind of product that customer is using, and really, giving them more options, and, probably charging the restaurants, in terms of marketing efforts for that customer base. I think that's a more better way of making use of that data rather than doing this delivery. But again, as I said, it is realistically not possible to do this kind of a thing within 10 minutes. It could be an aspiration thing which is there. It could be something, to probably compete with peers and probably look upon peers, because Jubilant also recently announced that they have an aspiration to reach 20-minute delivery time. And they actually were the first ones to start this 30-minute delivery guarantee.
But Karan, they are not really competing with each other. That's what I'm saying. For Jubilant,
they're not competing, but what happens there, Zomato actually looks up to Jubilant in terms of the entire delivery mechanism which is there. So maybe this is an aspiration which is there. Rather than we taking it so seriously that all orders will be delivered within 10 minutes, I don't think we should take it that seriously as compared to what they have stated.
Karan,
how can we not? It's a claim that has been made. People are going to get their stopwatches on the moment the trials run.
It's Indian stretchable time.
Okay, now that is another theory. That is another theory. But you're saying 10 minute, but you don't really mean 10 minute. I think that would be a tough one to pull off after all of the attention this has received. But in any case, thank you to all of you for this debate. Just some food for thought and some of the comments that have been coming on social media. It's great if there's innovation. It's great if there's new use for technology, and maybe then that information and that technology can be put to users in other ways. For example, how to get an ambulance to someone's doorstep in 10 minutes, how to get help when it's needed to someone's doorstep in 10 minutes. Maybe this could be the start of that as well. One never knows. On that thought, we'll take a very quick break on the India development debate, but stay tuned to ET Now.